The Tempest by William Shakespeare. Part 2. While Ariel is leading Ferdinand up to the cave, the courtiers are clumping round the island, getting more fed up by the minute. They are hungry, scared, exhausted. Prospero, still of course in his invisibility cloak, flings a sliving spell at them, but he lets Antonio and Sebastian stay awake. Within minutes, Antonio's up to his evil ways again.
Sebastian, wouldn't you like to be king of Naples? Sebastian, if Alonso had a little accident, wouldn't you be king of Naples?
Antonio asks. Well, actually no, that is not strictly true, says Sebastian. Because if the king had a little accident, then his son Ferdinand would inherit the throne, not me. Antonio rolls his eyes.
But Ferdinand's not here, is he? Ferdinand's drowned, hasn't he?
Antonio asks. Sebastian's a little slow on the uptick, so Antonio spells it out.
King Alonso is fast asleep, so's boring old Gonzalo. If they happen to die tonight, then Sebastian will be king,
says Antonio. Sebastian's not so sure, but on reflection, bumping off Prospero didn't do Antonio any harm, so he moves closer. How would we do it? He says. Antonio's eyes glint. From beneath his cloak, he removes a leather case.
Come, sit here. Open the case. Does your heart not leap at the very sight of it? A blade to die for, no? Touch the blade. Sebastian, feel the metal,
says Antonio.
Ow!
Cries Sebastian.
Toledo steel,
says Antonio. King Alonso, Gonzalo, and their minions are fast asleep. Sebastian and Antonio's knives glint in the sun. They are stepping forward to commit the murders when Ariel whooshes in and whispers in old Gonzalo's ear. Gonzalo wakes up and shouts, "Save the king! Save the king!" The king splutters awake too.
What's going on? And why the knives, Antonio?
Antonio is a quick thinker. Big Eyes tends to be.
Lions!
He cries. That is right, a whole herd of them, shouts Sebastian.
Monsters too, coming to attack the king,
says Antonio. And an earthquake, I think, adds Sebastian. The courtiers looked at each other and fall for it. Every last line. They pat Antonio and Sebastian on the back, then go deeper into the island to look for Ferdinand. Meanwhile, remember the jester, Trincolo, and his mate Stefano? On the other side of the island, they are getting into their own trouble. Stefano floated ashore on a barrel full of wine. He and Trincolo have already drunk half of it. If they were stupid before, they're stupid and stupider now. They've made friends with Caliban, who's another Prospero's magical servants. Trouble is, Caliban's half sea monster and half man, and he's not the happiest of creatures. He does not like himself much. And he likes Prospero even less. He thinks these two idiots are going to be his best friends, especially when they promise to get rid of Prospero. You see what's going on? Everyone who lands on this magical island reveals who they really are, deep down inside. But they don't know that Prospero is watching their every move.
Right, here's what we're going to do then. Prospero sleeps every afternoon up in his cave. So, first we nick his magic book, then we nick his staff, then we bunk him on the head. What up?
Says Caliban.
You may smell like a donkey's bottom, Caliban, but I do believe you have potential. We shall take over the island, and I'll be king. I love it,
says Stefano.
What about Miranda? What do we do with her?
Asks Tringolo.
I shall marry her, I think,
replies Stefano.
Very nice,
cries Tringolo.
And what about all his spirit servants?
Asks Caliban.
What up,
cries Stefano.
Ah, I love you, my master,
says Caliban.
King Stefano, ha! I feel a song coming on,
says Stefano.
We off to kill the wizard, we off to kill the wizard,
all chorus. Ah, the island with no name. Prospero up on his mountain top, magicking his socks off. Ariel scooting round, casting spells. Caliban and his two new friends plotting revolution. The courtiers wandering lost in the jungle, not knowing they've got a couple of murderers in their midst. And Ferdinand, dear sweet Ferdinand. Remember Ariel led him up to the cave? Well, there he met beautiful Miranda. And what was the first thing he did? He fell in love, poor thing. First sight, bowled over, quivering wreck, legs of jelly. And Miranda, she fell in love with him too. Same symptoms, though maybe not the jelly, which isn't very ladylike. Perhaps it's because Ferdinand is quite a handsome young lad. Perhaps it's because she's never seen a man in her life before, apart from her dad, of course. Probably it's because Prospero sprinkled love powder over the two of them. You see, Prospero, like all magicians, just can't help meddling. He wants the two of them to get together, all part of his cunning plan. But not too quickly, mind. First of all, he wants Ferdinand to pass a few tests. So, he binds up Ferdinand in chains and gives him Caliban's job of chopping wood. As it happens, Ferdinand loves chopping wood, especially with Miranda sitting on a rock watching him being all manly. This was very nice, says Ferdinand. I know, says Miranda. Very, choppable, says Ferdinand. You're chopping it wonderfully, fantastically, says Miranda. Do you think so? asks Ferdinand. Best I've ever seen, replies Miranda. Really? You're not just saying that? asks Ferdinand. Gosh, no. I mean, just look at that bit. It's amazing, replies Miranda. It is rather good, isn't it? asks Ferdinand. It's beautiful, replies Miranda. Not as beautiful as you, says Ferdinand. Gosh, says Miranda. You're so beautiful. I could sing a song about you, says Ferdinand. Wow, cries Miranda. I mean,
A bit of wood's just a bit of wood, isn't it? Even a good bit never going to amount to much more in life than being a chair or a table, or a cricket bat, maybe on a good day. But wood never makes me want to sing, whereas you...
Continues Ferdinand.
Yes,
Wonders Miranda.
you make me want to sing, Miranda,
Says Ferdinand.
Well, go on then. This rug's beginning to hurt my bottom,
Says Miranda. This is the end of part 2. To be continued in part 3. See you then.